Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett Steak. Let's get started. As I revealed my college football predictions earlier, now it's time to go a little more specifics. And as I'll do every week of the college football season, I'll go over my top 10 games of the week for college football and, give my analysis and give my final predictions for those games. So let's get started. We'll start from, 10 down to 1. So for number 10, I have TCU at Colorado. It's a Friday night game on ESPN at 10 p.m. Eastern time. All these are Eastern time, by the way. So both teams are looking to bounce back after not, making the bowl game last season. I think this is interesting because I think TCU will bounce back this season with their new head coach Sonny Dykes improving, that offense and the defense can't be any worse than they were last year. And just kind of starting a whole regime, with Gary passing, his being there for so long, finally got it now. For Colorado, they were 4-1 in 2020. They looked like they were pretty good, and then just turned to god awful last year. So was last year an anomaly, or is that a sign of things to come? I think it is in Colorado's case a sign of things to come, but TCU I think will improve. So therefore, I think TCU win this game now. As this will be a theme throughout, I think, since it's just week one, anything can happen in week one because teams are as crisp, and as you saw with Nebraska and Northwestern, it's like tackling could be an issue or just weird decisions could be an issue, so this should be a closer game than what people may think. So I have Colorado covered the spread of 10.5, but I'm gonna have TCU win 28-20. Next is Louisville versus Syracuse, 8 p.m. AC Network. Louisville's a 4-point favorite. This is a similar scenario to the previous game I just mentioned. Louisville can play spoiler in the ACC, while Syracuse will just try not to be last in their division. While Louisville is the better team, I can understand why the line is close. Louisville had a bad defense last year, which prevented them from winning some good games. And Syracuse can definitely run the ball with one of their best running backs in the country, and Sean Tucker, returning this season. But while I do expect a shootout from both teams here, and it's at Syracuse, I do feel like Louisville, since the better team, they will win this game. But again, since week one, it'll be closer than what's expected. So I have Louisville winning by a touchdown, and therefore I have them covering 38-31. 8, you got Boise State versus Oregon State. Oregon State's a 3-point favorite. This is an ESPN 10:30 game. This is a very hard game to predict here because Boise State had an off season last year going 7-5 for their standards, because their standards is winning the conference. Oregon State had a good season for their standards, making a bowl game. I think they're like 8-5, whatever. The Beavers returned both their starting quarterback and running back from last season, which I like. I expect their offense to be good once again. And Boise State's defense was very inconsistent last year. So, and that's the question because the head coach Andy Avalos is a defense guy. So, if Coach Avalos can get the defense playing more consistently, the boys they can get the upset here and they can return back to Mountain West glory and all that. But if not, then Oregon State will survive here at home. And in this case, I feel like they will survive here at home. I have them winning 33-27, so I have them covering. Next, I have Penn State versus Purdue. It's a Thursday night Fox game, 8 p.m. I have Penn State. Penn State's the favorite here at 3. I was shocked that Penn State did not make the preseason top 25, in my opinion. They returned six-year senior quarterback Sean Clifford, and they have one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. Purdue, they had a good year last year, but they lose their quarterback, they lose their best pass rusher, and then they just lose a couple key players there, so I don't see them being as good as they were last year. So again, since it's week one, it's a home game for Purdue. It'll be closer to what I would predict, a couple months down the line. But in the end, I'll have Penn State win and cover here, 27-17. 6, I have Florida State versus LSU. LSU is a 3-point favorite. Sunday night game on ABC, 7:30. Both teams started off slow last year, and both finished the regular season strong. And give me both programs hope going to the season. Florida State already taking care of DuQuoin to start 1-0, but I like the Brian Kelly hire for LSU because while he can't win the big playoff games, he can win mostly any other game. And if you're LSU, you just want to have a chance to be in those SC changing games and be in the playoffs like Joe Burrow led you to the other year. It looks like they're going to start Arizona State transfer Jaden Daniels, who's a good quarterback. I'm interested to see how you do in SEC play since he has ups and downs. Played play last year, but I feel like the LSU offense will be good. Now it's just a matter of can the LSU defense be back to relevant because LSU defense was off last year. And then for Florida State's side, it's like how I have questions about was last year ending 5-7 a fluke, because they started off like 1-4 or whatever before they turned around. Was that a sign of things to come? Had they turned the corner, or was that just pure luck and they're back to being stinking and Mike Norvell the head coach on the hot seat? I don't know. I feel like this is a can go either way type of game. I feel like this will be a very low scoring game, even though both defenses, especially LSU, went great last year. I feel like this will be a defensive game, a close game. But with LSU having a home field advantage, I'm going to take them here by a touchdown, 20-13. Like I said, low scoring game there. 5, you got West Virginia versus 17 Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 7-point favorite. Thursday night ESPN game at 7 p.m. It's the backyard brawl, good rivalry game here. I heard even if it's at Pittsburgh, there'll be more West Virginia fans there. Go figure. But both teams are breaking in new transfer quarterbacks. In West Virginia's case, you got Georgia, former USC and Georgia quarterback JT Daniels. We'll see how he is with West Virginia. And then for Pittsburgh, you get former USC quarterback Keaton Slovis, who's had his ups and downs. But I like the transfer. I like the quarterbacks for both teams. But again, I feel like this is one of those games where since both are defensive first-minded teams, and both defenses are really good, this will be a defense type of game. But because I trust, what Pittsburgh has, in their quarterback, and some of their other starters are training more than what West Virginia has, where West Virginia's losing a lot of starters, I'm going to take Pittsburgh here in a close game. I have Pittsburgh winning 17-10. 4, you got 7 Utah versus Florida, 7 p.m. ESPN game Saturday. Utah's just a 2.5-point favorite. Utah is receiving the most hype it's ever gotten. They have to take care of business against a rebuilding Florida team in the swamp. I feel being on the road and the fact that Utah normally starts their seasons off slow for some reason, this will be a closer game than will be back if they were to play in December. But I'm going to have Utah survive here, win, and cover at them winning 26-17. 3, you got 23 Cincinnati versus 19 Arkansas. 3:30 ESPN game. Arkansas is a 6.5-point favorite. A lot of analysts are high on Cincinnati since they made the playoffs last season. I like this team too, but let's pump the brakes on them going undefeated once again. Not only are they replacing Desmond Ridder, but they lost like 9 players to the NFL. It's just too much to replace, especially for a G5 program. Whereas Arkansas, while they lose their star receiver and all that, they return their quarterback, obviously, as a stud, and they return a lot of good starters, especially on defense. And especially them being at home here, I'm going to take Arkansas to win here and cover. I have them winning 24-10. 2, you got 11 Oregon versus 3 Georgia. Georgia's a 17.5-point favorite to 3:38 BC game. And this game has a lot of question marks. Like, how will quarterback Bo Nix, assuming he wants an Oregon job, look at Oregon now? How will Georgia defensive coordinator be coach Dan Lanning, who's now the head coach of Oregon? How will he be coaching against his former team? Are the backups on Georgia's defense ready to step up since they lost a lot of production from last year? A lot of people think this game should be a blowout, but again, with it being week 1, and I expect some sloppiness from the defending champs on defense with a bunch of new starters, this will be a closer game than what people are thinking. But nevertheless, Georgia will not cover, but they'll still win the game. I have them winning 26-13. And the last but not least, 5 Notre Dame versus 2 Ohio State. Ohio State 17.5-point favorite. 7:30 ABC. I don't get why a lot of people think Notre Dame's a top 10 team this year. Marcus Freeman will be a good coach. He's already done a good job recruiting. I like what he's done. But since it's just year 1 for him, let's see how he is as a coach first. I don't trust Tyler Buncher's new starting quarterback. Based off limited action from what I've seen last year, I'm not sold on him quite yet. So I'm not sure how they're going to be offensively. And to be honest, it's Ohio State. We know what they have offensively. They're going to be good, especially at home. Now, the only question is, how's that Ohio State defense with new defense coordinator Jim Knowles going to be? Because Jim Knowles does what we think we all will do, since we saw what we did at Oklahoma State last year. We think Ohio State defense will be much improved. And if that's the case, I'll take Ohio State to win here. And I'm going to take them to cover here, actually. I'm going to have them winning 42-21. So thank you very much. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.